Hey guys, what's up? Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Talking to the Internet. This is an interview series based around creatives who work in the creative world, and it's meant to provide insight on the industry and teach people about the different paths that there are within the industry. So today we are going to do an influencer panel. So we're just basically going to break down the industry and talk a little bit about what everyone does here. So I guess we should start by introducing everyone. We'll start this way and make our way over here.
My name is Anya. I'm 23. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and content creator.
What's up? My name is Kai. I'm 21 years old. I am a creative stylist, designer, and content creator.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm the head of influence marketing and brand strategy at Topicals.
Hi, my name is Faith. I model, act, and do creative direction.
Okay, fire. So obviously the show is called Talking to the Internet. So the first question I want to pose to you guys is, what's your relationship with internet and how has it led to where you are now with your internet career?
I'll go first. The internet definitely has had a huge impact on where I am now and who I am now and what I do. The way my career started was, well, at first it wasn't on the internet at all. I was doing creative direction and casting directing when I was 16, right when I graduated from high school. Because I graduated early because I was trying to get to the back. But then I got discovered by this production company that made online TV shows, and then I booked a TV show, and then literally it changed my entire life. So if it weren't for the internet, I would not be the bitch I am today. So the internet definitely started my career.
I'll second that. One of my first jobs was working for Solange. And at the time, she was dropping her album, A Seat at the Table. Mm-hmm. And she started an online platform called Saint Huron. And one of her good friends, Shabazz, actually found me from just posting music on SoundCloud and posting it on my Instagram. And that's kind of how I was discovered. From there, I started writing for Saint Huron and working under Solange. And yeah, it was kind of history from there. So
Mine was purely accidental. This is not where I thought I was going to be. I went to college in Massachusetts. I went to Tufts University as a biology major on the pre-veterinary track. So this was not where I saw myself. But then once COVID happened, we all had to get evacuated from school and I had way too much free time on my hands. So I was already kind of painting and drawing and stuff before. And I was well, kind of bored of doing that. So let me try makeup because I haven't tried that. And then it just kind of snowballed. So I would say my relationship is just one happy accident. I feel that's how it really turned out.
Yeah, literally, I started I guess caring for the internet 2020 when it was COVID. I was in college and I was miserable because this is my first year in college and we're literally on Zoom. And I'm not paying $5,000 to be on Zoom. So I was instead of going to class, I'm gonna start making TikToks. The TikToks actually started doing good. So I was wait, can I make a living off this? So I didn't even know if I could yet, but I was fuck it, I'm gonna just drop out of school. So I left. And now I'm here. So with the internet. Yeah.
Fire. I know for you, Tony, you were working in music before you started working in fashion or just influencer marketing. So one, what was the switch for that? What made you want to even start working in fashion?
I think for me, I just feel I hit my glass ceiling in music. I worked in music for 7 years, and I feel I did everything that I needed to do, and there was just no more growth for me. And I think that me being in fashion was just kind of an easy, well, I wouldn't say that. It was a very linear kind of transition in my career, and I wanted to just widen my scope and kind of rebuild my my portfolio in a different way. And now I'm in fashion. I spent a year or two in and now I'm in the beauty industry, but I took a year or two in fashion just to see if it was for me. And if it's not for me, then I'm out. But I think that for me, my career in general is just kind of about divine timing. And when opportunities arise that I feel are a fit for me, I just go.
I want to come over to you. You were talking about how you were discovered by a production company and you were part of the YouTube channel Neva. So what was it like for you leaving Neva and then having to find who you are outside of that?
It was super hard. It was super, super hard because when they found me, I was so young. I was 17. And then I moved to London and was living there by myself, and it was really scary, but then it was also like the show was supposed to go on for a certain amount of years, and it kind of felt like, well, you know, when people go to college, it's like, okay, this is my plan for the next 4 years, so I'm not really worried about anything else because this is what I'm going to do. But then COVID hit, and it ended, and then we all moved back home, and it was just like, okay, now what? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna move to New York City. So I moved to New York City in the middle of the pandemic, which was like so dumb, but also so smart because rent was cheap and it gave me time to like figure out what I really wanted to do. But like I said, like it was really hard. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew what my plan was supposed to be for the next 3 years, and then it wasn't my plan anymore, and I didn't go to college, and I tried that, and I did not like that shit. So I was like, all right, you need to like figure out what you're gonna do. So I was like, okay, I don't want to work in a restaurant. I don't want to work in a clothing store. But I don't really have any qualifications for anything. Like, you don't want to do nothing big. Beggars can't be choosers, bitch. Like, I was like,
that's how I felt.
I was like, what are you going to do then? So I was like, okay, let me just like, I don't know. I was kind of just like fucking around for a couple months. And then I went into the store called Tired Thrift, which Anya also knows about because Anya works there too now. But I was going in the store and I was just like looking around. And then I was like, damn, like, you should probably, like, ask them if they're hiring. Like, I was like, you should probably ask if they're hiring. So I was like, are you guys hiring? And they were like, no. But we, like, used to watch your show, and we really fuck with you, so we could try to figure out, like, a position that would make sense to you. And I was like, okay, bet. I'm going to send you guys my resume and, like, let you know what I've done, who I've worked with, and, like, I could maybe, like, do your social media. Like, these are things that I could do for you if you would, like, allow me to. And that's another reason why I said, like, earlier, perseverance is really important, because I feel like the scariest thing, like most important thing when you're trying to figure out who you are is just like going for whatever feels right and not being afraid to like hear no. Like if you're always scared of like what the answer's gonna be, you're not gonna ask the question, and most times like people want to hear what you have to say if you have a good argument.
Fire. So you talked about moving to New York and how that kind of started a lot of the new change for you after being in London and shooting that show. Nobody here is actually from New York. That's probably your first on my show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Nobody here's from New
true,
York. So what is moving to New York done for all of you? And like, what have you learned here? Like, how's it advanced your career? Talk about it.
I think for me, like, I feel like where I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I reached a point where there wasn't a point for me to be there anymore. Like, kind of like what Tony was saying, is like you kind of hit a ceiling, and it's like, okay, like, now what? Like, now what do I do? Like, honestly, like, I think sometimes it's important to be the little fish in the pond. I think it's important to kind of go somewhere where I'm not going to say that I felt like the big fish of Boston, but I was kind of feeling like a little too cramped in the fishbowl that was Boston. So I think it was important to like come out here and like challenge myself and actually like take the career that I have right now as seriously as I do, because I'm always up for a challenge, and I think it's always important that you're continuing to like push yourself and learn and grow and like whatever you're trying to do. And I just wasn't feeling that in the environment that I was in. I definitely feel it here.
You're probably the most recent.
Yeah,
How long have you lived here?
I've only been for a year now.
Me too.
Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm from Baltimore. No one has ever visited Baltimore. Yeah, for a reason. Did you enjoy your time?
I've been to Baltimore before.
You like it?
I stayed, but it was safe for me.
I didn't like Baltimore, but I didn't like it because I just felt like everyone looked the same. Everyone was doing the same thing. And I was just like, I don't want to do that, because it's like I'm doing good in Baltimore, but it's like I want to even do better in New York. So I was like, Mom and Dad, January 2022, I'm leaving. June 1st was the day that I moved, and then I turned 20 on June 6th. So it's all part of the process. Yeah.
So I know, well, Faith, you talked a little bit about like when you went to the Tired store, just saying, hi, like I do this, I have followers, like I can do this for you. A lot of people obviously have like followers and can do like content creation, but what do you think separates somebody from like being a brand to like versus just having followers and just posting content?
Well, honestly, when you're making a proposal in any situation, it's literally just how you frame it. Like, anybody can have followers, anybody can be bomb, anybody could post every day. But, like, if you're like, look, these are my resources, these are my skills, these are the proof that I have, these are the charts, like, it's honestly just how you frame stuff. Like, It's about being a salesman and then obviously following through with what you're saying. I think that's the easiest way to do it. All it takes is convincing. You don't need to go to college. You just need to know the right people and say the right thing, and you will get to like where you need to be, I think.
Okay, so Tony, you being on the opposite end of those emails, the pitching, what separates somebody from someone who you would want to hire to work with topicals versus someone who you're just going to scroll past that email?
I think for me, I don't really care about followers. For me, it's just more about like cultural impact. And I think that influence is not a matter of how many followers you have on a social platform. It's about how you're able to actually influence the people around you and the community around you. So I've worked with people who have next to no following, and I've worked with people who have millions of followers. For me, I guess to answer your question, it's not about KPIs for me. It's just more about like a natural connection to another person and then seeing how they affect the community around them.
Okay, so everyone here has had a time where they've been building their community. What do you take into account when posting content and like knowing that you want to build this community? I feel like Kai, I would want you to start with that because you have a very specific like sustainability community, like teaching people how to upcycle things, how to make something that, like for the people who might live in Baltimore and not have all those designer stores, like how do you go about building that community and like what do you take into account when doing it?
So I kind of, when I like, how I feel as though I go about it is like I kind of think of it like as if I'm talking to a younger version of myself. Like when I was in Baltimore, like literally it wasn't a lot of fashion going on, but I wanted to be a part of the fashion world, and I couldn't afford designer. I know, but I was like, I still want to be a part of it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up sewing and I'm gonna teach myself, and I did. So it's like I always think like there's probably someone out there who lives in a community that has no type of fashion or whatever, and I'm gonna tell them like, you can still do fashion. You can be the one to do it in that community. You can start learning how to sew. You can even start like making mood boards for like styling shit or whatever. But it's like, you just don't have to wait for your community to like do it. You can be the one to do it.
I am gonna go to you next because you actually, I obviously did my research, and you didn't wear any makeup in high school.
No.
So being a like,
I was actually one of those. I was one of those like I went through my phase in high school where I was like, you wear makeup?
Ooh.
That's weird. Those people. And I'm just like,
that's that pretty privilege right there.
I don't wear makeup. I don't wear makeup.
Natural beauty.
Oh, mascara. Like I was really one of those people in high school because I thought that that's what would like. I don't know. I was a very insecure young kid in high school trying to figure out who she was. I think the way that I started posting and I guess developing a community was just I was looking at my Instagram as my own like digital diary. As my own like I'm documenting my progress. I'm not trying to be the best makeup artist out there. I'm just showing what I like to do and showing something that I tried out today. And I think that my work kind of speaks for itself in that way. Like I feel like the community that I've developed, I feel like everyone kind of has a little bit of that like I just want to try something out, but I don't really know where to start. So I feel like my work kind of stands for that, where it's just like you don't really need to like there's the one thing about beauty especially and about makeup especially is like there aren't any rules. Like there's no rules. Like you can kind of just do it however you want, and as long as it makes you feel good and you feel great about it, then like who's to tell you that that's the wrong way to do it? So I feel like that's where my communities kind of come from. It's just like the no rules. Just like go for it. Like it should be fun.
I love that. I love that so much. I'm gonna come over to you, Faith. So I was like just looking through your Instagram, obviously doing research again, and I feel like you have a very consistent style when it comes to content creation. How do you find yourself like fitting into a brand? Like when you're working with a brand, like how do you find yourself, and how important is it to you to like have a bit of yourself in that brand? Like will you ever work with a brand that you feel like you don't necessarily resonate with, but you can create content with? Like
I definitely wouldn't work with a brand that doesn't align with like who I am, what I like, what I do, and my interests, obviously. But also like I actually have been having a problem with like figuring out what exactly my niche is, because like I just be like posting shit. I feel like I just have a big personality and I love sharing stuff, and so do a lot of my friends. So I'm always just like taking videos of me and my friends, or just anytime I'm out and putting a cute outfit, I'm like, who's trying to take pics? Like I don't really have a specific niche that I'm in. It's actually something I've been dealing with, cause I don't know. I just be posting shit. So I feel like there definitely is an element to that where it's like, I guess I can work with anyone because my brand is just my personality, but also like not really, because I would never want to represent something that doesn't really represent me, and then it's just like, this girl need a bag right now. She broke right now. So I don't know. That's actually something I've been trying to figure out myself. I don't really know what I would consider my niches, but I definitely do know when I do work with brands, they're working with me because they like my personality and they know like whatever I do, I'm gonna do it in the faith way.
Kai, I'm gonna come over to you. You have this one video where you partner with PacSun.
Earth Day.
Yeah, Earth Day.
Yes.
You turned a pair of jeans they gave you into, well, you basically showed people how to make it into something that was similar to like a capital style pant.
Yeah.
So like kind of the same question with you, like knowing that even like PacSun isn't, they can try to be sustainable as much, but like they're obviously a fast fashion brand at the end of the day. How for you is it like creating that boundary of being like, I am sustainable, so like even if you're offering me this much, I can't promote your product because you don't align with what I align with?
Yeah, so at that moment I was with a different management, so like I told my manager like, how can I make this more sustainable? So I literally told her like, anytime I have a brand pitch to me, I like to even pitch back to them to tell them what I want to do and what aligns with me. So it's like PacSun, I was just like, how about we make this more sustainable? You just send me a pair of jeans and I'll use my scraps and make it more into like an Earth Day thing, you know? Because it's like, yeah, PacSun isn't the most sustainable, but it's like, I wanted it to be more like, so like sustainable on my page, you know? So I was like, I took their product and I made it into something, I'm gonna say it, I made it into something better. So, yeah, so that's, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna change the topic a little bit. So when you're like finding your careers and you're like getting into what you are getting into, what are some things that you would say were like some of your first investments? Like just investing into yourself and your craft. What are some of the things that you guys were like buying at first, even like platforms that you were engaging with to just become a better content creator, influencer, makeup artist, everything that you guys are?
I come from the other side of it. So my first like, I guess, big investment was, I invested a lot of money in Bitcoin very early. That was a huge investment. I've invested in some like properties and land and all of that stuff because I want to get to a point in my life where my money just kind of just makes its own money and I don't necessarily have to work for it. So I think when I started really making money, I just got a financial advisor and I started kind of spreading my money in ways to where it just doubled on its own. So, yeah.
Period. We love financial literacy. I'm about to say, I feel like you, like, makeup's probably the most expensive. So, like, before you were getting your brand deals, how are you affording all the makeup?
I wasn't. I literally used products from high school. Everything that I accumulated that I never used in high school. Like, towards the end of my high school career, I was like, just buy a few things here and there. That's where it really was. I feel like my, like, big investment was moving. I feel like that was probably my, like, big investment. Like, I saved all my unemployment money from COVID, and that was my first last deposit. I was like, this is where it's going to. I was like, this is where it's going to. Like, this was, like, my big investment.
And that is true, though, because a lot of your content and videos that are going up now is, like, those videos you're making in your room, because she has a cute-ass
It's a nice apartment. Like, it's nice.
It makes a difference. Like, I was going to say, like, if you really want to make content creation, like, your main thing, like, really pay attention to where you live and, like, your environment that you're filming in, because a lot of my content is none of my content is in my apartment, because my apartment has really bad lighting. Like, I can't do makeup videos, I can't do fit videos, because it's not giving that. It's not cute. And, like, if your environment isn't, like as aesthetic, your videos probably won't do as well, because people just like that shit. And it goes up, and it's cool. People want to see somebody in a really cool room with really cool knickknacks.
That's really what it is. The amount of people that have been like, room tour when? I'm like, my room? Like, you don't care about like my makeup or my outfit. They're like, we want to see your room. I'm like, my little trinket.
But it's true, though, because my room isn't giving what your room gives. And every time I see your room or another girl's room, I'm like, damn, she got a cute ass room. I love her room. So I think that definitely makes a difference.
My biggest investment was definitely my sewing machine, Stinger Heavy Duty, $200 off Amazon. That literally was like my baby, still is my baby, still in my apartment right now. But back then, like, I was really like the thrift king. Like, I would go to thrift stores and be like, oh, what's my next outfit? Every outfit that I had when I was back in Baltimore, it was a piece that I made. And that made it even more personable and more like unique because I'm like, people are like, where you get that from? I'm like, oh, I made it. And also, I don't really make clothes for other people, so it was like, yeah, like you can't pay me to make this. So, yeah, so it was definitely no, for real. So, and I still even do that today. Like, I'm happy I even like the fashion district is in my hands in a way because it's like I go to Move Fabrics. I go get some fabric and I make myself a dupe. Like I literally made a Rick Owens dupe. So yeah, for $30. So yeah.
Okay, so who here has like management representation? Oh, everybody. So how would you say it's helped your career?
I feel like it's not like I feel like it's nice to have someone advocating for me. I'm also non-exclusive, which is really nice too, so I'm still allowed to kind of run my own deals if I want to, which sometimes I like because, especially if I've already established a relationship with a brand, like sometimes I like to just keep that connection.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to just have someone go to bat for you. Like, I thought that I was doing a great job at negotiating my contracts, and then I got management, and then I was like, wow, I was not doing shit. Like, I clearly wasn't doing anything. So my management was running like really, really big deals for me. And I think sometimes it makes a difference if someone, like that's how it's always felt for me, is like sometimes it feels like it makes a difference that someone else is advocating for you and being like, yeah, this person is 100% qualified for this.
I can second that. I feel like having management is like super important because also people try to take advantage like OD, like they really, really do. And also being someone behind the scenes now too, like people do take note of like, oh, she don't got an agent, slap. Like, like people pay attention to that stuff, and it is important to have someone advocating for you too, because then it's like it's also not as personal. Like if you're talking for yourself for a brand, like maybe it's like a brand you really like, you're scared to say what you really want to say or whatever. But when it's your agent, it's like the brand and your agent both know like we don't care. Like the agent's like, I'm gonna get what needs to get done, and the brand's gonna be like, well, it's her agent. Like they're not gonna play about that. So So I feel like it definitely makes a difference in having like representation. I feel like sometimes people can take you more seriously, which they shouldn't. It shouldn't matter. Yeah. But I think it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, it helped me real bad. Like back at home, I was really like at this point I could have been working for free. Like the coldest water got me, y'all. I was doing 10 videos for $200. 10 videos, like no. So I'm happy I got a management who like negotiates everything for me because like. To be honest, like, I'd be good with anything. I'm like, whoa, that's good money. Like, no, that's not enough. We need to push for more. I'm like, oh, we got to push for more? Bet, do what you got to do. So, it just helps me just, like, because I feel like I was also just too nice. I didn't want to, like, I don't know why. I was like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm like, this is their job. They don't care. So, it was like.
No feelings involved.
Yeah, so I was like, I was being nice, like, oh, let me lowball myself. But it's like, I'm happy that they will push me to, like, nah, pay this guy this much money. So.
Tony, this question is posed to you. How, as like influence marketing, are you like adapting to all these new like social networks and like just these new like updates, even algorithm updates, and just having to track people's like success in different ways, like as that keeps arising?
I think it's just almost natural for my job that I always have to kind of keep up with what's happening next, whether it be like a new app, whether it be some new like influencer. I hate calling people influencers, but that pops up on the scene. It's like my job to kind of always know what's happening next. But again, I don't really lean too heavy into that. I know there are some people that work in influence marketing that lean heavy into like they have to be on this social platform and they have to like, work this way. I kind of I'm an influencer marketing strategist, but like all vibes.
As creators, like, do you feel the need to learn these new apps immediately as they come across you?
I totally agree with what Tony said. Like, I don't know. Not even to like hate or anything, but like being called an influencer sometimes just like gives me the ick. I'm like, ugh, I'm just like, it just doesn't make me feel good because I feel like it can be so like reductive sometimes because I feel like maybe that's just like, I guess maybe the stigma of being an influencer, but like, I don't know, like I don't feel a need to put myself in every single box because that's not me being authentic to myself.
I also lean into influencers that are just authentic to who they are. Like, I think, like, if I see you popping up on every platform, that, like, I'm just like, all right, like,
you're doing this for different reasons.
Like, if you're, like, an Instagram, like, type of creator, then, like, I probably am going to you for that. Like, I don't like when people kind of oversaturate themselves on platforms. Yeah.
Okay. So, Anya, I'm gonna come back to you. So you are the creator of the cake face trend,
Come on.
which is really, really,
Yeah.
really
The
big.
what trend? I missed it. What is
Cake
it?
face.
Oh,
She
okay.
basically
Wait,
does really
elaborate.
cool-
Elaborate. What is
Well,
it?
yeah, you can
It's
explain
exactly what it sounds like. I
Yeah.
just like turned myself into a cake in the face. The
Mm.
whole thing,
Makeup
the
is really
frosting,
cool.
the candles,
Interesting.
everything. Yeah.
I gotta get your Instagram.
You have to see it for sure. But
Yeah.
going on that topic, obviously influencing or like even content creation, I guess we should stray away from the word influencing because most people here don't like that word, right?
Nah.
Influencing,
Don't
nobody
like
likes it.
I don't like it.
Okay, we'll call it content creation. Okay, so with content creation, obviously you have to be very consistent to engage with people or just to keep people's attention. What is your plan for creating content?
I think the number one thing for me to stay consistent is to, like, when I'm ready to work, just do as much work as I can without getting burnt out. And then also accounted for rest, because if you're burnt out, you're not getting anything done.
Kai, what about you?
I don't stress myself out. One thing I literally don't do stress at all.
I hear
So
that.
I feel like I've always naturally took pictures and recorded everything. Like I have a whole bunch of like, literally I don't have any storage on my phone because like I just generally just like looking at memories. But in those memories, sometimes I'm like, oh, this will make a good video. So I like take some of the videos, do a cool voiceover, and I'm like, oh, that's my content. But I try not to stress myself out. And then also like I like to do a lot of dumps because like I be trying to just get like fly throughout the week, and then boom, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like every day. I feel that.
I definitely relate to that too. I don't really have like a specific time that I do stuff. I just take pictures like every day.
Yeah.
Like if I have a cute outfit on, which is every day.
Come on.
I'm taking pictures.
Come on.
I'm taking pictures, or if I'm traveling, or just I feel like just taking pictures and making content all the time makes it easier to always have something to
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think because I work on the other side of it, I literally never post. Like it's very rare.
You be taking pics
I
though.
mean,
I be
you
keeping
know,
your
you might
pictures.
see it in my story.
Yeah,
You
post
might
your
see it in there.
stories. You don't post a lot on your
I don't. I don't know why. I just like. I think because I know how like strenuous it is on the other side. Like I don't know. Posting on Instagram and shit gives me so much anxiety. I'm like, let me just throw this in my story.
Yeah.
What's
Like,
it
and
called?
then I'll like put something together, and then I'll like sit on it for too long and be like, I actually hate it. Never post it. So.
What's it called? Tony, I be seeing you everywhere.
I be outside.
I know, I see you everywhere, but my question for that is like, as someone who works in influencer marketing,
Mm-hmm.
well, really everybody here, like networking vibes in general, is it important for you to be out, or is it just more that like community connecting like personally, or are you out like being like, who am I gonna meet today? Like, who-
It's a mix. So outside of just doing regular influencer work, I also cast. Like I cast campaigns as well for whomever, whatever brand I'm working with. So a lot of it is, some of it is just me going out to kind of, feel the energy and be a part of what's happening, and also like see new faces who are out because, you live in New York City, which is a melting pot. So you never really know who you're going to run into. And then another part of it is just kind of me. I work a lot, so also remembering to make space for myself and kind of enjoy, I guess, the fruits of my labor, for lack of a better term. So I do try and go out and like enjoy myself and get out the house because I work fully remote. I don't have an office that I work out of unless it's Soho House.
I like to go out a lot. I'm that
Yeah,
type
you be outside.
I like to party. I just am that
This
type of
one be
person.
outside.
I've always been that since I was younger. I just love people. I love dancing. I love having fun. I love putting on a cute outfit and everyone's seeing it. Like I just am definitely like a social person. But because of how social I am, I've met so many cool people and worked with them or casted them for stuff or like saw something out and was like, this would be a really fucking cool concept, or like definitely being outside and meeting people equates to networking if you're like keeping in mind all that. Like you could go out and meet a million people and then just never think about them again or follow them and just be like liking their posts. You could also be like, this person would be really great for this. And that's even beyond casting, like, oh, this person said they do photography and they've worked with these people and this is something they want to do, and then those conversations you'll just remember little bits and then you can implement them into your work.
Yeah, I also got to energy check people. So it's like I see people online, and which is great. But if I meet you in person and your energy doesn't match what I assume it to be, then like, So it's like I think that for me, I'm big on energy, and I'm big on like just connecting in real life and making sure that like we just kind of naturally flow into one another.
It's not forced or anything.
Yeah, and if I feel like it is, then I'll probably, most likely go in a different direction.
Okay, so we are bringing this conversation to an end. This is gonna be my last question that I pose to you guys, and everyone's gonna answer this one. So, this show is obviously meant to help people figure out one, like the different things that they can do within the industry and different things that they can pursue, but also how to navigate the thing that they want to do. So, if someone's watching this episode who wants to work in a field like you guys or be doing some of the things you guys are doing, what are some advice that you would give them? We can start here and make our way this way.
I feel like the best advice I can give is that, one, you can only control what you control. That's one. But then two is like, it should always be fun. If it stops being fun, I think it's time to just kind of like take a step back. Doesn't mean quit, but just take a step back and maybe reevaluate why you got into it in the first place. Like, I love my job. I'm very fortunate to like love my job. Not everyone loves their job. So I think, and I love it because it's fun. And it's fun for me. So I think it's just important to like kind of remember like why you want to get into something. And like, hold your morals closed, hold your ethics closed, hold your personal values closed, and just like have fun with it. Like, the world is really your oyster. So, you control what you control and you just have a good time.
Period. Kai?
I would say that it's okay to be comfortable. Anytime I get a new opportunity and I'm like, wow, this is a really big deal, I get uncomfortable, and it just kind of shows that like I have to challenge myself, and that's what my mom tells me all the time. So shout out to Mom. So you have to be able to be in uncomfortable spaces, because it's like, without pressure you don't get diamonds. So it's like, if you're not uncomfortable, maybe this thing that you're doing isn't for you, because it's like you're not challenging yourself. And especially just like with being uncomfortable, it's like, make sure you always choose yourself. So don't do things because this person wants you to do it, or like it's literally nothing that you're a part of or something. But definitely always choose yourself. Like, don't get lost in whatever is going on. So yeah.
I would say being able to trust your instinct. Also making space for yourself and making time for yourself, and not burning yourself out. I feel like I dealt with a lot of that at the beginning of my career, just trying to become successful at a very young age. And now I'm at a point where I am making space for me. So I would make sure that you give yourself time to grow in whatever you're doing and be okay with making mistakes, and learning from that, but also making space to be present in whatever you're doing.
Touche. I guess I would say the main two things, which I'm always say, is perseverance. Like, I feel like even just like giving friends advice and stuff, people a lot of time are really scared to go for what they want because they're scared of being told no. But you can't get an answer at all if you don't try. And just because one person tells you no, or a million people tell you no, that doesn't mean somebody won't take a chance on you and tell you yes. So I think that's really important to just, if you really, really want something, then you can get it. You just have to really, really persevere.
Going off of what both Tony and Faith said, I feel like advice that I would give personally is to never think that you can't do something. I feel like the time that it takes to learn something is so much more worth the time that it takes to be stuck in what you don't want to be doing. Okay, well, this was another episode of Talking to the Internet. I personally want to thank everybody here for being here and being a part of this conversation. I really enjoyed this. This is the first time we did this, so thank you guys so much. And everyone at home, thank you for watching. And if you're not already subscribed, please do that. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.